how to do, are afraid to do, or sometimes just outright don't do it. And also, it was brought to me when I was developing this part of the episode that a quandary, it was kind of like a quandary or an issue that I really considered, and I'm actually putting into consideration right now, where we talk about seasoning and trying to be frugal with your money and all of that. But what if, on the off chance, you don't have a Sam's Club discount, or you don't have a Sam's Club near you, meaning within reasonable distance, and by reasonable distance I mean like 10, maybe 50, maybe at the longest 10 miles away from you, like a bulk grocery chain store like Sam's and Costco. Well, one solution that I found was going to the grocery store on days where they have sales. Like, for example, Safeway. I think Safeway in the mainland in California is called Ralph's. So if you live in California, it's Ralph's. Say for example, you live where you have a Ralph's, or just say for example a regular grocery store. You could just basically go to the grocery store when they have a sale and buy it. But say for example, what if you're low on groceries that day and it's not a sales day? Well, one way that you can definitely do it, and if you do not have an EBT, and in this episode, part of the episode 1, we're gonna be doing it where I have maximum $100 to spend, but I'm gonna double check with and we're going to be going and buying beef, because the seasoning that I shown you as actually, because it's gonna be probably an hour-long video, and let's just put it this way, nobody on YouTube watches anything for more than an hour, unless it's like a movie or something. But I'm not making a movie. Then I would stand to say that we're going to be doing one protein, and that protein that we're going to be cooking on is a lean meat, which is beef. The reason why I like cooking with beef is it's the meat that I'm most familiar with. Not to say that I'm not proficient at cooking chicken or pork. It's just that with meat, it's very forgiving. Even if you overcook it ever so slightly, it's very forgiving in the sense that, and I better chance this turn. It's very forgiving in the sense that if you were to overcook it, it doesn't taste bad.
I swear to God, it's the kind of shit you'd expect Tiger Woods to tee off with. Look at it. Rubber!
So to speak. And I'm going to be pairing it with some sides, and I'm also going to be cooking it at a friend's house, so that way it doesn't violate my terms and conditions with my food stamps. So here we go. So basically that's the point of this video, is seasoning. And just to break it down to you, I have another set of seasonings that is called the umami blend, which basically, when you talk about umami in seasoning, it basically means a flavor that enhances the food or the ingredient you're using. Like, say for example, you're using fish. A fish with a particularly good umami, believe it or not, is any type of white flesh fish. For example, halibut or even tilapia has very, believe it or not, for me, I believe that tilapia, even though literally tilapia eats shit from the ground, it has a really good flavor, and coupled with like some Cajun seasonings and a little bit of lime and lemon, it brings it out, which it doesn't matter. It's not that bad. For meat proteins, meat that has a particularly good umami is anything that is wild caught. Like, for example, here in Hawaii, we have a problem with domestic boar. Pigs weren't really a part of the indigenous diet. They were actually brought in from Spain, or so I believe. Anybody that lived in Hawaii that's more familiar with Hawaiian history, please let me know. But when it comes to wild game, it's the most richest and purest of the form of the animal. Like, for example, a wild cow would be considered a bison. And the reason why I make that comparison and I say that it's the purest form of flavor is because they're not fed grains. They're not farmed. They're pasteurized, meaning they pasteurize in the sense that they live on pastures and they're grass fed, and they have a lot of free range of motion. Not to say that farm cows that are like the ones, and I'm stretching here, that are like the ones in Miyazaki Prefecture or in Japan aren't bad. It's just that if you want the purest flavor of, I found in developing this part of the episode, is finding what was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. That's staying in the edits. But going back to flavors that work well, that season one that have good umami. Wild boar and bison have the best umami out of all of the meat proteins, simply because it's the blood that flows through the muscle. It's the essence of the animal, basically. And boar is supposed to taste a little bit meaty, and it's supposed to taste a little bit gamey. We as Americans, and more particularly Western society, have bred 90% of the flavor out of the meats that we buy from the stores, that we need to spend more to get the flavor back in. And that's basically the main focus of the series, is increasing flavor while on a budget, but not compromising on price, as well as the standards that you know and that you love when you go to eat out. I must caveat this with that by saying that I am not a professional chef. I'm basically a hobbyist. I help friends with their catering business, working with flavors that work particularly well. And I've been doing this hobby roughly for 14 years. So yeah, that's basically it. And again, I'm just gonna say I'm not a professional chef, but I try my best to cook really good, wholesome meals for my family. What's up, guys? So I'm actually at my friend Daniel's crib.
All good.
And we're gonna be actually, for part 2 of this episode, we're actually gonna be testing seasoning, and we're not gonna keep it like fancy, but we're gonna do it very simple. Sauteed mushrooms on the side, and we're gonna be seasoning it 4 ways, which is basically salt, pepper, umami blend, and I have my utilitarian seasoning, which is basically garlic powder, onion powder. I minus the herbs this time, and salt, pepper. And then we have beef dripping or beef base. So this is a vlog, guys. It's not. You don't need to be quiet for that.
Oh, no.
No, you say what you gotta say.
That's
Let's see what you gotta say, bro.
So
Just keep talking.
Yeah.
My beef drip.
we got comedians up in here, man. So we're just going to start by seasoning the meat.
Name cutting board, bro.
Yes, please.
Excuse me. It's right here, bro. The biggest cutting board I ever had.
Roger. Yeah, cutting board is a cutting board. Doesn't matter. So long as
이거
mahalo.
So gay. You guys don't say I love you.
Hey, bro, can you get like one pan started already, bro?
Sure.
Olive oil.
So while I get my homies situating themselves and getting them nice and easy, or get themselves nice and relaxed, we're going to be seasoning these steaks with first. This steak would be basically salt and pepper, or what should I do to make it even easier? Oh, better yet, let's portion these. What I'm going to do actually for them to test it is portion these into 4 pieces, bastardizing them, I know, but for them to taste the seasoning, which we're going to be using it on here, these sirloin steaks, fairly new cut, we're going to be just doing it that way.
Quick question, brother.
Yep.
How high you want the heat?
We're going to keep it on low because we want it to preheat. We're going to preheat the pan to low. So while that's happening, bro, do you have like a chef's knife or a kitchen knife?
Yeah, I do.
Not butcher's knife.
Or butcher's knife. I'm fairly good.
What should you prefer?
Fatty is.
Only knife you have.
That's alright.
No sharpener?
Money, this is pretty sharp.
It's actually pretty dull.
It's dull. Oh.
No, Greg just has a very strong wrist.
Well, remember that one time we barbecued at the beach? He's like, "Bro, you're making me my chef son come out of me. Get out of here, Daniel."
Yeah.
I was trying to cut the
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. So we're just gonna be using each one for seasoning. So which one? I think I'm gonna use the fatter, thicker piece for salt and pepper. So we're gonna season one with salt and pepper.
I want to grab like a freaking nice tub of salt from Hanapepe. I would love to grab one of their salts from there.
Yeah, their salts are pretty good.
Yeah. Fun fact: Hanapepe salt lakes, salt ponds is the only place in Hawaii that traditionally makes their salt.
I don't know where you got that from. You got that from BuzzFeed. And they said, fun fact.
Oh, not this fun fact part, but okay, sure.
So
I watched
you may
BuzzFeed.
see me using salt on all of the pieces. That's for two purposes. One, a lot of the seasonings that I have are very low sodium, so I don't use a lot of salt in my seasoning, even though when I'm prepping it looks like a lot. When you put it on, there's barely any.
Good.
Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Then I'm gonna take on the other one, beef base. Now I got this idea from Chef Marco Pierre White. He's a 2 to 3, I think it's a 3 Michelin star chef, and he said you could smear like any beef stock, beef seasoning onto your meat, and that'll act as another layer of seasoning because it's already reduced down. It has that beefy flavor, that rich beefy texture, and all of that, and it works really well. And on top of that, if you want to go without the salt, you don't need to go the salting option that I just did beforehand, but you can definitely do it that way as well. Just lather it on. And this one for me, I found instead of having it 5 minutes, I like to let this set for a few minutes before I sear it.
Well, that's one chunk right there.
Yeah, because you're gonna be spreading. You're gonna be spreading it all over. That's why.
Spread it, Greg. You need 2 hands, like. Oh, yeah. Greg, spread it.
Sorry, I'm making it.
2 hands.
Brought to you by Greg.
And we're gonna season this one. Season high, season low.
Little high, little low.
Little side to the other side.
No, hello, little story. You're supposed to sit the other part. Never mind.
steaks are done. What we have
The
is...
stakes are high.
Yeah. I'm keeping that in the final edits. So we have salt and pepper, and we have my utility seasoning, which is basically salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. Then we have the umami blend, which is basically trade secret. And then we have the beef drippings or beef base, soup base. And these brothers are going to try it out because I know what these taste like. These brothers don't.
Nope.
They know, of course, what salt and pepper seasoning tastes like, but the rest, not so much. All right, have at it, guys.
So which one is which?
So we're gonna go for salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper's here.
So that's like our control. Utilitarian.
She said salt and pepper.
Yeah. So this is with garlic powder. If you want, you can rinse your palate with beer.
Sorry, I poked your meat.
Okay. All right.
Well, you never helped me with my meat.
Oh, no.
Dangling know it all.
So notice a little bit of different taste, change of taste.
Organically.
Yeah. Because I literally put heavy on the garlic because if you put a little bit of the dried onion, it's going to be over sweet.
Yeah.
And then here we have the umami blend.
Together.
Forever.
The woman, what was it
The
called?
umami blend.
Umami.
I'll tell you what's in it.
Umami.
Oh wow.
Mmm.
And like that's real. That's not for camera, right?
No,
That's a real
that's
reaction.
a real reaction.
Tastes like like curry powder.
Not really curry, but there is a different set of herbs in there. So there's dill, there's thyme, there's rosemary, dried rosemary. So everything, all the dried herbs that you have is dried. You can have this apple wine, bro.
Is it my beer or your beer?
No, that's fine. You can have this.
What's your beer?
You didn't have one.
No, I opened the brand new one.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, we can share. So, and then we have dill, thyme, rosemary. So the thyme and rosemary are utilitarian. So any recipe that you see, you'll see them actually add that. Parsley, cilantro, and dried mushrooms. Dried mushrooms and dried shrimp.
Good.
And then this is the beef stock, beef base.
Yeah.
And if you don't have beef base, you can definitely use beef bouillon.
You can taste the beef.
Yeah. So in regards to seasoning, like which one do you think is the best out of the four?
The one, what do we call this one?
The umami blend.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, all of these seasonings, like you can get it for under $20. Of course, when you buy it bulk as a whole, it costs you roughly $30 to $40. But when you make it yourself per 16-ounce serving, you're actually talking about $12.50 per serving. $12.50 per unit, about $1.75 per serving.
Yeah, it gotta be the umami and then the beef. I mean, the regular stock is basic.
Yeah.
And you just, that's if you're feeling, basic. But if you want to feel a little more exotic or whatever, do umami or the beef stock,
And would you believe that you can get all of this at either Costco's or Sam's?
Not even.
Or $9.99.
You should not be nutting.
Yeah.
I'd go with the beef one though.
Okay, so you like the umami, he likes the beef. I'm actually also with you with the umami.
Can you eat the last beef?
Yeah, because it's the last one there.
Okay.
No, I know what I like about the beef and the umami is you can actually, what I would do, especially with steaks like the flank and the sirloin, air dry it in the refrigerator, 24 hours. And what I did before when I was testing these recipes is did it also with salt, pepper, the utilitarian, and which actually makes more. So if you were to dry it and sear it, hey!
10. 10. 10.
So that's basically it. And then if you guys want a little bit of more of a palate cleanser, what I did was so that way you don't waste anything, any of the juices. We got mushrooms sauteed in the beef, in the beef drippings. Do it.
Okay, stop.
Eileen would be upset. And this is sauteed after I did the beef dripping with the beef soup base.
I like mushrooms.
I like mushroom now.
Back then you did.
So that concludes this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode where we cover my mom's challenge, where she challenged me to make basically meal prep fettuccine alfredo with roasted chicken. If you guys want, you guys can come back for that. Also, thank you to Alika and Dan. Guys, give you guys Instagram and your YouTube links.
Instagram is Hawaiian Blanca.
You also have a gaming Instagram too, right? Or is it just your channel? YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I have 3 actually. So my personal one is Hawaiian Blanca, Hawaiian like Blanca from Street Fighter. Gaming channel is Hawaiian Blanca Gaming, and we have the clan, which is Team Mixed Play, so Team _ and XPL8. Follow me on Instagram.
You guys can follow me on Instagram for Dan _the _big _man, Dan the big man. Yeah.
And it'll be included in the description below.
Richard.
Shoot!